Hi everybody. I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have social media. I don't use Facebook, Twitter, um, Instagram, Snapchat. I don't use any of those things. I used to, but I stopped. I don't watch any TV. I turned off my TV in January and I haven't turned it back on. Since then, I've just been doing a lot of reading, a lot of researching. I don't care what anybody says about YouTube and fake professionals, fake scholars, people who are unqualified to do the videos that they do or speak on the subjects that they speak on. I don't care about all of that. I think that I've spent so much of my life listening to people with letters before or after their name, people who work for big companies, people who went to big colleges, and I listen to them as authority, and I realize how far that's gotten me and how much information I've gotten from these people that are inconsistent or just flat out not true. And what we see now in this age of information, age of Aquarius, we see that a lot of people, just lay people like you and myself, are able to come out and speak on subjects that really matter in a way that is honest, in a way that is just from a observer standpoint, which I think is more valuable sometimes than being, what's the word I'm looking for? Having whatever credentials or accolades that normally define an expert in a particular subject. So I am proud to be an avid watcher of YouTube, and some of my favorite people that put together shows on a weekly basis or a daily basis. I watch and I listen and I learn, and I'm grateful for it because it's a nice dose of truth that I grew up not getting. I have a book I'm reading right now. It's right here, called Lies My Teacher Told Me by, James W. Lowen. And I got this from Barnes & Nobles, and I just was early for work, and I said, let me just stop in and just look at some books. And I found this one because I was pissed off when I started to realize all the lies that I've been told during school. And one of the main perpetrators of this is history class. A lot of things just don't make sense. And I feel like when I even, you go to class like math and science, and then you learn about ancient Egypt outside of school, thanks to my mom, you learn about these things and the kind of abilities and accomplishments that we were making from a long time ago. So when we learn about certain math and science and astronomy and even as far as weather and all kind of different subjects, certain particular people are not given credit where credit is due. So I just never was a big fan of school. I love to learn, but I'm not a fan of Western education systems. And I just always knew something wasn't right, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I don't follow religion. That's another thing where, just like history, a lot of pieces don't add up. So that's another conversation. I just thought I'd give a little brief introduction on, who I am, because it's the first time I'm doing a video, but I just kind of felt compelled to do it because somebody that I, watch and read about, and who I actually, one of my goals and dreams was to go and see him. I just don't have the money right now, but sure enough, I was going to put it into plan to get that money together and be able to go out there to Honduras to see Dr. Sebi. And he's definitely one of my favorite people. I remember listening to him speak and just talk about his story, coming up from a child and his relationship with his mother, his relationship to the herbs and the things that are the healing that is provided for us right here on earth, right in the land. Listening to him just always resonated. He resonated with me, and it just kind of felt like I was listening to a grandfather that I never had, that I never knew, and suddenly, here he is. Oops. Sorry, my screen cut out. But Dr. Sebi is the man, you know. Even knowing about his Supreme Court case and how that whole thing went down, and or the reasons why they told him to take down his newspaper articles in the first place, you know, and that it did go to the Supreme Court, and that he actually walked, and you know, he got through where that's concerned. But what really bothers me, it hurt my heart, of course, and my condolences to his family and to so many of us whose lives that he touched and affected, to the people that he has healed. My heart hurts. Like I shed a few tears, you know, because I don't personally know him, but I spiritually know him, you know. But what really bothers me is some of these people who I watch on a regular basis. I'm just going to name two because this is relevant to what I'm saying, is Sister ZaZa Ali and Professor Griff. You know, these are two people who I listen to. I didn't know who ZaZa Ali was until Professor Griff had her on the Underground Railroad radio with Brother Rich. That's when I started to hear ZaZa Ali, and that inspired me to look at some of her own independent work, and I like her. I think that she comes off very strong, and I think a lot of people aren't accustomed to seeing women with that kind of intensity, and when we do, it's hard to receive, especially when that intensity is backed by some form of female power or feminist perspective, or, you know, anti-patriarchy, if you will. You know, a lot of people aren't gonna digest that very easily, but for what it's worth, I think she's a beautiful person inside and out from what I can see, and I enjoyed listening to them on the show. Professor Griff, I like his style. You know, he's unadulterated, he's unfiltered. He'd tell it to you exactly as he feels, whether you agree with it or not, whether it's politically correct or not, it doesn't matter. He's gonna say it as he feels it, raw, you know, and I like what he represents as well. So what really bothers me is that here are these two people who I do look up to and who have taken the position. I didn't put them in this position, but have taken the position of leader, of motivator, of, you know, activist to a certain extent, educator, right? Professor Griff, which means that you hold yourself in a position to educate people, and you do a great job at it, definitely. You know, Sister ZaZa Ali being on the platforms provided by Professor Griff. You know, you guys are in a position where people are going to look up to you, and they're going to go to you for information and for insight. And so to see that you guys had a very public fallout was disheartening, you know, but it happens, right? People sometimes don't work well with each other. Sometimes people's intentions are different than what they've appeared to be. You know, sometimes things just run their course. My mom always said people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So maybe that little thing just was good for what it was worth. It helped to inspire the crowd that they did reach. It helped to build ZaZa Ali. Professor Griff may have learned certain things from ZaZa Ali, and then it's done. But I listened to Professor Griff on this talk show. I want to remember the name. The Titans. The Titans. He was on the Titans, and they were really talking about Africa Bambaataa, and, you know, or Bambooty, as some of them say, whatever. That's a whole nother conversation. But that's what they were talking about on the show. And of course, you know, the host on the Young Titans had to ask Professor Griff about his relationship, or the lack thereof, with Sister ZaZa Ali. And the way that Professor Griff responded to that particular question was very passionate. And I'm using that word carefully. You know, it was very passionate, and she really came off as an enemy, you know, and it just really made me curious, like, what the hell did she do? You know, she must have really majorly violated for this man to be on this platform speaking or accusing her of certain things or making her out to be this fraud. You know, so I just tried to look in and see it, because I do understand that there's people who we call opportunists, whatever you want to call them, who are gonna, you know, try to suck up everything that they can, you know, from whoever that they can, and they will use you to get to where they want to go. Women tend to, you know, have that stigma that follows them of always wanting to use somebody or be a gold digger or whatever the words are. So I just wanted to look into it, and I did see Sister ZaZa Ali respond. I watched her whole video, and I felt her in certain regards. Whether I agree or disagree, or I'm not picking sides or anything like that. I don't think that anybody has to. That's when we see division, and that's when we see the formation of groups that oppose each other. And I think that there's no place for that in this particular society at this particular time, because of the fact that we've already been so masterfully divided. There's no need for any more, you know, division at this point. It's all, we already can't even identify with our neighbor. You know what I mean? So it's unnecessary. But whoever went wrong there, I feel like for Professor Griff to actually assume and accuse Sister ZaZa Ali of giving out his address, I would have liked to at least hear him say how he knows that. How you know that? So she did an interview with these people. From what she says, it was basically just so she could clear the air, because her name was brought up into things, and she did the interview. And then the next thing you know, these people have your address. So sure, circumstantially it looks like that, but I would just like to know how you know that they got the information directly from ZaZa Ali. To make an open statement like that, something so accusatory, but yet there was you didn't give any kind of proof. So that when I went and listened to ZaZa's response video, I could have looked and, you know, and said, oh, you lying. You know, Griff already told us, he told the world that you gave those people his address and exactly how he knows that you did it. So whatever you're saying right now, it's not true, because he already let the cat out the bag and everything adds up and makes sense. That's what you're saying is a lie. I couldn't do that, because all you said was she gave him the address. No proof, no evidence. So if in fact you don't have any proof or evidence, why make a statement like that? Why do that? If you have a difference in opinion, or you have a fallout with Sister ZaZa Ali, why put it out there publicly? Why? I don't get it. If it's to warn people about this sister, you know, or whatever, there's subtle ways that you can do that. If she really is like a threat, or I heard some people talking about how she may be working with people. You know what I mean? Like some kind of informant, or some kind of a someone put in place to sabotage a movement. You know, so if all these things are true, there's subtle ways that you can do that, but the truth always comes to the surface. People reveal themselves no matter what. We have to be sharp and be able to be, you know, good judges of character on our own, and be able to figure people out and see I do that within my own life. You know, my eyes and my ears are always open for the snakes and for the frauds and for those that are in my life for the wrong reasons. So we do that naturally, but you guys really just, you know, broke my heart with that situation, because it was just nice to see how, you know, Griff really, he took to ZaZa Ali, you know, and she was out there, and they just truly represented a nice balance, an essential balance of female and male energy, and what that represents, and how that, sorry, I should have turned my screensaver off before I started the video, but how that translates into, life in your neighborhood, you know, dealings with women or with men in your own experience. So, but I mean, people really got engaged in this breakup between ZaZa and Professor Griff. Everybody has something to say. A lot of other independent media sources were, you know, having shows on it and having segments on it, asking other prominent figures about it. People really went off on this. But my thing is, while all of this was going on, Dr. Sebi was in prison. Nobody knew of that. You know what I mean? And again, it's like we let these little insignificant, petty drama, just nonsense, distract us from bigger things that are happening. And it hurts my feelings. Like, it really does. Because Dr. Sebi look out for us. You know, he opens up the door and say, look, come over here. You got to pay for it. People don't have that kind of money really, but you got to pay. So I think it's like $1,500 for a 7-day stay in his village. But let me think about something here. Because if you suffering from some kind of an ailment or disease or whatever you have going on, be it cancer, be it AIDS, be it sickle cell, like, you know, one of the things he's known to have cured, be it just a poor diet that you can't break, you know, whatever's going on with you, you go to the hospital or to the doctor and your bill is going to be through the roof. In fact, you may not even have access to the type of procedures that you need to really help you, because you don't have that kind of money, or you don't have that kind of health insurance, or you don't know the right people, or you're not the right color. So, and the bill is going to be out the wazoo. If you can't afford it, it's going to be extremely $1,000 you wish, you know. And then that also is to assume that the procedures that you get, the medications that you are prescribed, are really going to help you. A lot of the times, you know, we see that the pharmaceutical industry hurts you more than it helps you. We've become so accustomed to this idea because we see it in the commercials all the time, right? Yeah, they ask you, do you have trouble sleeping at night? You know, do you find that your appetite is insatiable? Whatever. Do you find that you have mood swings during the day? Take whatever this long name of a medication, right? And you're going to experience a much more steady mood. You're going to sleep through the night. You're going to suppress your appetite. And at the end, it gives you this whole long list of things that are potentially going to happen to you, right? May cause a heart attack, stroke, this, that, swollen knees. I mean, a whole bunch of things that, you know, may happen to you. And this is on every commercial. It's the fine print that's on the label of whatever drugs that you take. And I do mean drugs, because drugs ain't just cocaine and meth and what they like to call, but what the category they like to put marijuana in, which I don't think is a drug personally. I don't smoke weed, but I also don't think it's a drug. It's a herb. Let's get that straight. But they like us to think it is. But all that fine print is there, and let's just think about the kind of you know, world that we live in. Why the fine print? If you think about marketing and you think about advertising, fine print is deceptive, right? It implies that this is something that you don't need to read. You shouldn't read. It's not important. It's mad small. It's not important. It's irrelevant. Just skip over that. Look at the big, bold, you know, letters on the front. Ignore all that fine print. When the commercials come on, look at the, you know, the happy couple walking through Central Park with the sun shining and the birds because this man has this medication that has helped him. But ignore when they fast forward through all of the precautions at the end of the commercial. You know, this is what we experience, so it becomes normal to us. So we accept the fact that with Western medication, expect that when you take it, you're going to start some other shit. It's going to give you some other shit that's going to make you have to go and take more medication that's going to start other things. So you need more medication, and then you're forever a part of this medical industry that doesn't serve you, but that can't exist without you. And that makes a whole lot of money out of you. You know, that's what we're accustomed to. So even when you go to the hospital, the doctor, you're not guaranteed to get better. Many times you're guaranteed to get worse with a big price tag over your head. So that little $1,000 or $1,500 that Dr. Sebi is asking for is not a whole lot when you put it in perspective. It's very affordable, and I would support that man, period. You know, even if I thought it was a little bit much, I'd still support him. He's me. He's me, and he's doing his damn thing. And I like his style. So it's as simple as that. You know, but he opens up his arms to us to come to his village, you know, and he's here. He's from Honduras. We're all over here in America. Most of us that I listen to, including Brother Rich and ZaZa, and we are not connected enough to know the whereabouts of our brothers or sisters that are not exactly in our hometown or in our homeland. You know, we all work for the same cause. We're all fighting the same issues. We all have something really great to offer. We all are very influential, but we're not connected. And things like these, Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali, I don't know you personally, but I know you through the limelight, the small limelight that YouTube provides. It's still a light, and that's how I know you. And it lets me down that this drama was taking place while Sebi was in prison, and nobody knew. And you're not the only people with drama going on. There's a whole lot of other drama. I'm not really trying to single you out, in all fairness. It's just something that came to my mind, you know? But I think that we should let this serve as a lesson that for all of us that are like-minded, for all of us that are, you know, trying to accomplish something meaningful, we've got to get connected, and we have to remain connected, because when you have people and you have supporters or family, people who've been close to you and around you, imagine, put it physically, put it in a physical example of if, you know, this is Dr. Sebi. It's a phone. It's going off right now too. But if this is Dr. Sebi and everybody is banded around him, everybody's banded around him, okay, it's going to be more difficult for somebody on the outside to penetrate all that's around him and get in here. You know, because you got that support. You have people here. There's people watching. You can't really do whatever plans you had is not gonna. You may be able to do it, but it damn sure won't be easy. And we will damn sure have a really great basis for investigations. By then, we would have enough of a critical mass together with access to legal facilities if necessary. Well, what more likely would be necessary. And you have a team that you can work with to get some justice where it's due, if it wasn't preventable. But by having people close to you, and the media and the journalists that we have that go out there and provide us stories on the people who we love to watch and follow, you know, being that active and being that connected with your brother and sister, no matter where they are in the world, will prevent a lot of tragedy from happening. And it's a lesson for us, you know, because the one thing that we can't seem to do is stick together. Just can't seem to do it. Can't seem to accomplish it. You know, we try, but can't really do it. You know, and it's partially our faults. It's also having a lot to do with the work that's been done on us as a people to make sure we're not that way. You know, these, I don't even want to, I'm not going to use the names because everybody, I think that people use all these different names and it all gets to one central group. They may use the Illuminati, that's the big one, or the puppet government, or the globalists, or the Zionists, or, the powers that be, whatever term you want to use to describe this negative energy that is always at work. They know us better than we know us. They've been studying us. They made it one of their main goals was to figure us out and figure out exactly how to break us down so that we are of service to them, but we don't cause a threat to them. And we're at the point now where we're not even any longer of use to them. So we're in a disposable position, and I am not just talking about us as Black people. I think a big thing is, my mom, she always is into, these Black issues, and I'm with her on it. She's the one who put the battery in my back, so I'm with her on that. And as much as I join her with those struggles and with those issues, and I recognize it and appreciate it, I also realize that the nature of the beast has changed. And I'm not talking about a change as in we're no longer included. I'm talking about a change as in now there's a much broader spectrum. There are a lot more people involved. There are a lot more people being targeted. There are a lot more people that are suffering and that are going to suffer because the nature of the beast has changed. If that makes any kind of sense, it's at this point, the issues that we face are beyond race, they're beyond religion, they're beyond creed, they're beyond sexual orientation. If anything, that's another conversation. But they're beyond so much, so it's not just a black and white struggle anymore. It's really not. So for me to sit here and to continue to be on this black, which I am, but to make that my platform seems to be, it's unfit for the particular time that we're in right now. So while I do keep that as my original source and as a part of me, I also realize that there's a bigger picture now in 2016, and it has to do with this very small group of people with a whole lot of power and a whole lot of money who need to find new ways to control the masses. It's not like it was before, and in the great Zabrinsky, I think it's called. Forgive me, because I didn't actually read the book, but everybody keeps on, noting this book, and they keep on citing this book. So I ordered it on Amazon. I should be getting it soon. But in that book, one of the things that someone else I listened to quoted was that it was years ago, it was a lot easier to control the minds of the people, and basically nowadays, I'm sorry, it was easier to control the minds of the people than it would be to kill them. And nowadays it's the opposite. So it's easier at this point to kill than it is to control us, because we have, most of us at least, I think as a growing trend and as a growing theme, have become privy to a lot of the things that have been going on, where we're kind of up there now with certain things, so we're in the place where they are going to try whatever they can to control the masses, as far as they see it, we're one class. Where we see it, we're all divided in low socioeconomic, middle class, upper middle class, all this other things. But from their vantage point, way up there, we are all one giant pool of people that we want so goddamn much. We want freedom. We want equality. We want opportunity. We want money. We want houses. We want education for our kids. We want health care. I mean, we want too damn much. Who the hell do we think we are? And how are these people going to give? How are they going to give all of that to us? Why would they give all of that to us? You know, we want too much. So as far as they're concerned, they need to eliminate us. You know, they need to get us back down to a place where we are a lot more easily controlled. And there's so many ways to do that. Like they say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Well, they have a lot of ways at work right now to try to accomplish that goal. And every day, it's so weird. Because when you start to learn the things that normally, you know, a normal day is like never really normal anymore. I guess that's the best way I can put it. You know, on normal, say a walk to the train and it starts raining, right? Out of nowhere. It's been sunny all day and just boom, here comes some rain. And it makes you think twice. Because if you're like me and you follow a lot of different things, you also follow geoengineered weather. You know, and I would like to cite Billingsley at geowatch.org. You know, I believe it's, well, I'm not sure the day, I can't remember right now, but every week he puts together a nice segment and he talks about a lot of things that's going on. He's from California, and we know California's been in a drought for quite some amount of years now. You know, so they started watching certain things, and they're on top of a lot. So if you have a chance, give it a look, because I guarantee you, when you experience weather after you watch things like that, it makes you think like, what's really going on? You know, is snow really snow at this point? What really is this rain? Are these engineered cool downs because it's so freaking hot? Because they tell us that the earth is cooling down, but we know that it's only warming up at a staggering degree. So are these cool downs that are happening? You know, just something like that. And then like the other night, you know, I was at the Dunkin' Donuts by my house. I was outside. It's like 10 p.m. And there's a police car that comes driving down the street with sirens on and with like an automatic recording. I actually have it on my phone, but anyways, and the recording was like, in effort to control or combat West Nile virus, we will be spraying in the area, whatever it was. And right behind the cop car was a pickup truck spraying whatever insecticide that it was spraying. You know, and they went through all the streets. I live in a particular area where it's urban and it's predominantly black. But excuse me, I just feel like something like that shouldn't you do at like the wee hours in the morning when nobody's outside? How is that like fair warning to, like, as the truck is coming? Sorry, my screen went out again. As the truck is coming, you're giving the warning to go indoors. They're like, please stay indoors until further notice. But the truck is already coming, so people who are at the bus stop or are walking down the street or riding their bikes or whatever, cars with their windows down, whatever, you know, that's not fair warning. But I just thought, stuff like that like when I was I'm 28, when I was maybe 21 or 23, whatever, I wouldn't have thought twice about it. I was just, okay, whatever, they're spraying the mosquitoes. You know, and the more knowledge you get, things that normally you would have ignored or just passed off now make you think and say, well, what the hell is that? You know, this Zika stuff going on, which is supposed to be a sexually transmitted disease, although they're telling you that the mosquitoes are infecting people. They have a few confirmed cases in Florida, where the first report was that these individuals got infected during overseas travel. And then the next report given by the mayor was that they were most likely contracted from local mosquitoes. So what's the story? Zika has been around for a long time, sexually transmitted, and if you look it up, it's patented and owned by the Rothschild Foundation. Zika, ZYKA, or whatever it is patented by the Rothschild family. So it's kind of like a designer disease. I don't even understand it yet. I have to look more into it, but it just sounds like another contrived reason to then do something else. What I saw then, my mom lives in Florida. She travels a lot, so she's not there all the time. But I'm concerned that the next thing was they were going to start spraying, all over Florida, with an insecticide that was banned in 30 countries or something. The chemicals in that insecticide are banned in a lot of places, so they're going to start spraying it now to preemptively, control the outbreak of the Zika virus. So there's just a lot of stuff going on that's outside of just the black fight that we fight. As it is a very essential fight to all of us because we are black, and the atrocities that were done to us as human beings, intentionally and purposefully, are beyond words. It's beyond words, but we're here. We still here, whether we're doing the best or not. We here. We like some roaches, in the sense you can't get rid of us. We here, and we have a spirit that you can't kill. You can kill our bodies, but we have a spirit that lives on, so that's bigger than anything else. But I guess back to the point, this was just a lesson to me, and I hope it's a lesson to everybody else, that we need to get close. We need to get close. It's harder to hurt a particular person when he or she is surrounded by people. It's just harder. And we need some kind of collective group so that we can start to build resources amongst ourselves. So however we achieve that, I think is worth giving some thought and some time. I know I'm going to think about it. And if people do start to watch the videos that I'm going to start putting up on here, then I'll definitely be more than happy to take suggestions, and I will definitely be putting my suggestions out there. And I want to get in contact, with the people who I enjoy watching, from Professor Griff and Sister ZaZa Ali and Phil Valentine and, Boyce Watkins, Umar Johnson, and all of the Red and Blue Pill. And if I did not mention your name, it's not because I don't listen, it's just because I'm just, coming right out with what comes to mind. And not even just, my brothers and sisters that I watch, but also I watch the white people too in the videos they put out there. People can say what they want to say about Alex Jones. And Alex Jones could make a goddamn ham sandwich look like a conspiracy. I'm aware of that, but I take what I can from what I watch. So it doesn't mean that I second what Alex Jones' beliefs are with everything, but there are some truths that he puts out there, and he has a clear-cut agenda and purpose that may not match mine, but in his pursuit, he reveals a lot of truth. And so I do watch Alex Jones, and Dane Whittington, like I said, out of geowatch.org. I watch the X22 report, The Truth Unveiled, and so many others, that I watch and follow. And I want to be able to communicate with you guys directly, because everybody's putting in some serious work, and I think there's no better time, to be doing that. And it can be scary because we see as people drop dead. Sorry. People drop dead, people, mysteriously disappear, or things happen, that make you a little bit scared. But at the same time, my mother says too, one of the things that fear is irrational. It's not real. Isn't that real? So what the hell are you afraid of? Me and you both bleed the same blood. And as I said earlier, you can kill me in flesh, but you can't kill my spirit. You can't kill my soul. So what am I really afraid of? So for that reason, I think that it's really great that we get together and we talk and collaborate and see what we could do. That's all. But this was my first video, and it really was about Dr. Sebi and ZaZa and Griff. Just happened to be the first example I can think of as, here we go. Two great prominent people like this, while Dr. Sebi needs help. So let's learn from this. Thank you.